executing a mammoth exercise. And I want to take my hat off, the proverbial hat that I'm not wearing, sir. You, of course, are wearing one today. I'm not. But I want to take my proverbial hat off to the board of the Bureau of Statistics, chaired, of course, by the Finance Secretary, who is, of course, very much present today. The chief statistician, the chief statistician, who is also here. The deputy chief statistician, who's the deputy census officer, and who led the presentation of the preliminary census report, and the entire team, the more than 1,000 persons who worked on this. This is a huge exercise. Censuses are described as, I've seen literature describing national censuses as the largest peacetime operation undertaking, visiting and endeavoring to enumerate every single household and every single individual within households. It really is a mammoth exercise. And sometimes it's easy to stand on the outside, and I commit this mistake myself sometimes. It's easy to stand on the outside and get impatient and say, I'm coming under pressure to get this report done, why isn't it being done? It's equally important, I believe, for all of us to develop a stronger sense of appreciation of the magnitude of effort that is involved in these exercises. Particularly if you want to get them done well. And I think it behoves all of us to acknowledge the excellent work that they did. The preliminary report, of course, contained a lot of very valuable information. And so, Mr. Chairman, I'm sure that all members of this House would want me to thank the Bureau of Statistics for the fantastic job that they did. And in the same breath, urge them to conclude the final report in the shortest possible time. We can put.
Sir, just one more question. Sir, and it was a follow-up on the same oil and gas sector at GRA, and taking note of the Honourable Minister's answer about the vacancy and so on. Is this disturbing the audits that GRA normally would carry out? And can the Honourable Minister provide some updates, if he has them, reference to the audits of the sector with ExxonMobil?
Again, I could give a very short, almost one-word answer. I would say that the discharge of our statutory obligations are in no way impeded. We are discharging our statutory obligations, and we will continue to do so. And secondly, I don't have in my possession the update that the honourable member is seeking. Thank you very much, sir.
The sum stated for Agency 3, Program 31, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us go to pages 509 and 510. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 31, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honourable Member Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Project Code 19-00400, Basic Needs Trust Fund, an allocated sum of $255 million. And in the description, sir, we are told that there will be construction of special education needs buildings and construction of early childhood development centers. I must say, Basic Needs Trust Fund, I'm well aware of the early childhood development centers, having participated with Basic Needs Trust Fund during the 2015 to 2020 period in the construction of about, I think, 6 around the country. May I ask the Honourable Minister, how many early childhood development centers will be constructed with this allocated sum, and the location of these early childhood development centers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Here again, Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Here again, I'm pleased to hear Mr. Manipal acknowledge the good work that is being done by the Basic Needs Trust Fund. We certainly hold the view that the fund has done excellent work in Guyana and indeed throughout the Caribbean. As many people would know, it is a fund that is administered by the Caribbean Development Bank, but implemented and executed through an implementing unit within the respective borrowing member countries across the region. And the BNTF unit in Guyana, the implementing entity in Guyana, resides in the Ministry of Finance. And so I have the privilege of being responsible for that unit and its inclusion in the Ministry of Finance budget. On that note, sir, it might be appropriate for me to record in this House that the bank recently lost its 5th president, the late Dr. Warren Smith, who was a great friend to Guyana and did outstanding work for the bank and was an outstanding regionalist. And it's difficult for me to speak of anything in connection with the CDB in Guyana and not think of the remarkable tenure of think of Dr. Smith's remarkable tenure and his remarkable contribution to Guyana. So as I'm addressing the matter of the CDB's work in Guyana, permit me, sir, to take advantage of the opportunity to record Guyana's deepest and sincerest condolences to the bank and to Dr. Smith's family on his very tragic, sad passing. Returning to the BNTF, the honourable member asks about the early childhood development centres, and we will be doing so in the area of education infrastructure. We will so we have actually committed, sir, to do 4 additional day and night care centers in regions 2, 5, 6, and 10. And needless to say, we are implementing these projects in very close collaboration with my colleague, the Minister of Human Services and Social Security. And specifically under BNTF, we have 2 early childhood development centers budgeted for, one in Region 5 at Experiment, and one in Region 6 at number 75 Village. And I might add that Experiment and number 75 Village, those locations were not selected by accident. One would know that Experiment is not far away from the Bath Hospital, where hundreds of doctors and nurses and other medical professionals will be employed. And number 75 Village is, of course, the home of another one of those brand new hospitals that we have been building through the excellent work that Minister Frank Anthony is leading at the Ministry of Health. And in fact, at number 75 Village, where the hospital is just across the road, is also the call center location where hundreds of persons are also employed. And so those 2 specific locations, in order to facilitate, in recognition of the fact that you will have large populations of working parents who might have children of the relevant age to be attending some of these centers, and in order to make sure that these people are not denied the opportunity to work on account of the fact that they have a toddler or a young child that they have to take care of, we are building these centers to make sure that they can take their children to the early childhood centers, the ECDCs as we call them, the early childhood development centers, and they're able to take advantage of the job opportunities that we are creating. I might add, sir, that we're also, of course, doing special education, needs school, SEND school. We're doing a SEND school at number 29 Village, also in Region 5. And I hear my colleague responsible for Region 5, Minister Parag, applauding very audibly. Let me not discourage her from applauding audibly when I'm on the floor. And we're also, very importantly, Mr. Speaker, on the BNTF, implementing what I believe will be a very important project. We are constructing an autism school at Turkine in Region 4. Because here again, we want to give every single Guyanese person of every single age and irrespective of their circumstance, we want to give them an opportunity to uplift themselves and contribute meaningfully to the future of our country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sir, you can go ahead and put.
Thank you, Honorable Member Mr. Mahipal. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 31, Agency 3, Ministry of Finance, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to pages 66 and 67. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 32, Public Financial Management Policies and Services, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 32 stands part, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Please turn to page 510, honorable members, and I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 32 capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 32 capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you, Honorable Minister, and your very hard-working, competent staff for taking us through preparation, delivery, and defense of Budget 2026 and your agency in particular.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I will reserve my thanks for a later opportunity when, of course, I will be speaking in relation to the passage of the necessary bills and moving of the necessary motions. But thank you very much, sir, and thank you very much to members on the other side for the questions posed in relation to the Ministry of Finance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Let us take a 20-minute break because we have still a lot of business to conclude on Budget 2026 and some other matters.